Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you from where am I? Mesa, Arizona. Gee, I've only been here 2.5 months. You'd think I would remember by now. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling Shake It Up Saturday, start to your Shake It Up Saturday. It is going to be an incredible day, and here's why. We are going to be let's see, what are we going to be doing? Oh, yeah, we're talking about Shake It Up Saturday. That's right, because we're going to shake up our lives. I was reading this great article, and I've got the article link in the description of the video, wherever the description is. And it's an Inc. Magazine article, and it's called 25 Easy and Free Things You Can Do to Shake Up Your Life. And the heading caught me, and I was like, oh, that would be so cool to read. So here is, and it was, they had some great ideas. And I thought, okay, let's look at some of the ideas that we can do with so that anybody can do them no matter what the weather, no matter what the lockdown conditions are, or anything like that. There's things on that list that you can actually do to help shake up your life. Things like moving around the furniture. They say a different space can create a different headspace as well. Um, I love rearranging furniture. Unfortunately, in the RV, all the furniture is fixed. So I don't get to do that. But when I was in a house, I loved rearranging the furniture if I could. And, can I get a better flow through here? Can I make it a little more intimate? What can I do to make it different? So, rearranging the furniture, good thing to try. Good thing to try. The other one was throw away stuff because they said, like with the furniture, you've got a different physical space again. And the less physical clutter you have, the less mental clutter you have. And this is something that I have known for a very long time. And my RV's gotten cluttered, so we're in the process of decluttering the RV. Even though I still have tons of storage space available in the RV, I am still doing a declutter because I feel like some cupboards are more cluttered than others. And the only reason they're more cluttered is it stops stuff from moving around. So we're going to try and declutter that. Start a meditation practice. There's plenty of apps. My favorite app is called Calm, and they do have a free version and they also have a paid version. And one thing I like about it is that every now and again, as I'll listen to one of their bedtime stories. So, as a kid, how you love to have that bedtime story and you just drift off to sleep as your parents' soothing voice would lull you into well, this one here, they have celebrities like Matthew McConaughey. Oh my gosh, that voice to go to sleep to. I kind of drift into a twilight and I quite often hear the end of the story and then I'm just like out like a light. But some of them are really, really good. And there's just that simple one of breathing in and out, counting your breaths, which is really cool. So they've got guided meditation. They've got sounds that you can use for meditation. For me, it is a really great app. There's a lot of good apps out there for meditation. So give one of them a try. Um, Take a different route. If you're driving to the grocery store to pick up groceries, go a different way. What's a different way that you can go? It might take you 30 minutes longer to get there, but what do you see along the way? Because sometimes when we're driving from point A to point B, we're so used to that route that we kind of zone out and all of a sudden we're there and we're like, well, I don't even remember the drive. So shake it up a little bit, take a different route. When we're living in Solana Beach, I used to do this all the time because taking a left-hand turn out of our street, at first when we moved into the street, our street was off a main road and there was only a stop sign and the through traffic just kept going and going, and then traffic will get backed up based on what time of the day it was when the schools were in session, because there was a elementary school down the road, there was a middle school just around the corner. So you'd get a lot of traffic around the time of school starting and ending. You'd also get a lot of traffic around lunchtime. So there's certain times of the day where you knew to avoid the traffic, but then the longer we stayed there, the more traffic was coming down that road, and making a left turn became more difficult. So for New Zealanders, it's like making a right turn. It became more difficult to do. And you could sit there for 5-10 minutes before you could even get a break to get out, or somebody would actually stop and allow you to go through. And so a lot of the times I would take a right turn because it was easy. I didn't have to worry about crossing a line of traffic. And I would take a completely different route. And sometimes I would take the shorter of the different routes, and sometimes I would take a longer one and go all around the back and through the countryside and that sort of thing. And it's amazing what you see along the way. Plus, it breaks your brain up because it's not a set pattern. So it's always good to shake the brain up a little bit. Send thank you cards. They say gratitude is a muscle that needs to be exercised. I can't emphasize that enough. I love sending, hello, little one. Bye-bye. Up, turn around, get off. I love sending cards. So, because it always brightens somebody's day, and you never know when somebody's going to need a card. I get a gut instinct on who I need to send it to. Like, I'll go through my list of contacts, or I'll be looking on Facebook and go, oh, I haven't heard from that person. Oh, I'm going to send them a card. And so I go send them a card. Go stargazing. I love, I'm not into astronomy in a big way, but I love to stargaze. And I have a really cool app on my phone. It's called Star Guide. And the cool part about the Star Guide is that you just turn it on and you point your camera. Oh, I want to see what's up there. And you point your camera and it tells you what stars are in that vicinity, what the bright stars are. Like when I first got here, there was this bright star up in the sky. And I wonder what star that is. And it actually turned out to be the planet Jupiter. I was like, well, that's really cool. But then it also showed me that the planet Saturn was just up above it. So the whole time I've been here, I've been watching Jupiter and Saturn move across the sky each night and watching Saturn slowly get closer, because they say so it's sometime before Christmas. I think it's like the 22nd or something. So it's sometime around Christmas that that Saturn is going to kind of catch up and be in alignment with Jupiter, and it's going to look like one big star in the sky. And it's going to be just above the western horizon as the sun sets around that date when it happens. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I really, really want to see that. That'd be so cool, because it only happens like once every so many years. And then I've also been watching Mars. I've been tracking Mars across the sky as well, because it started coming up on our evening walks. And so we now track Mars across the sky. So it's really kind of cool to get out there, and you can actually go search and you go, I want to see where the planets are, and it will direct you. And you can type in, I want to see where Orion's belt is. And this little arrow comes up on the screen, and you just keep moving. You just keep moving your camera, your phone around, following the arrow, and all of a sudden it'll go, here it is. And the cool part is that if you point it down at the ground, it shows you what the other side of the world is seeing, even though they're in daylight. So go do that. Volunteer for a good cause. It's always good to give back. That's my simple thing for that. Cook something you've never cooked before. Get experimental in the kitchen. Oh, it's one of my favorite things to do. Most of you have heard me say this, that I view recipes as a guideline. It's a foundation, and from there you just get creative. So find a recipe and get creative with it. Baking is a little more of an exact science, but when it comes to cooking, oh, things are open, and if it doesn't taste good, that's just part of the experiment. Some will turn out really good, some will turn out okay, and some of them are like, I can't believe we made that. They're always fun. Play tourist in your town. Just go for a drive around town. See things you've never seen before. Find places that when they all open up again, you want to go and investigate. Is there a museum or an art gallery that you didn't know about? Is there that little that little house that's a birthplace of some famous person that is tucked away in a back suburb somewhere in your town? Go for a drive past that so you know where it is. When people come to town to visit you, like if I came and knocked on your front door and I said, hey, show me the highlights of your town, what would you be able to show me? Would you show me the well-known sites that are out there, or would you also take me to some of the off-the-beaten-path sites to see and things to see and do? Had a great trip when I was in Arkansas. I got to spend some time with the Evies. Love this family. They are so much fun to spend time with. And they picked Zeffie and I up one day, and we went for this drive, and we're like driving out in the middle of nowhere. And then he takes this thing, and he says, oh, we're going to go see a waterfall. And I'm just like flat land as far as you can see. We get to the park, we park the car, put Zeffie on the leash, and off we go. And we go down this path, and there was this incredible little grotto area there that was just beautiful with the waterfalls and everything. And we had a great time there. I wouldn't have known it was there unless I had a local to show me. So what local highlights do you have that you can show people from out of town that they won't find in a guidebook, or they may find it in a not so well-known guidebook, but it won't be in one of the more regular, well-known guidebooks like Lonely Planet and Froma's, and what's the other one? Moon. Can't remember the other one. And this is got to be one of my absolute favorite ones. Look through old photographs. Get the old photographs out, especially if you've got kids with you. Get the old photographs out. Turn the video camera on. Put a voice recorder on. So as you go through the photographs, and make sure you have an archival pencil with you, and there are archival pencils that you can get that don't damage photographs because they're non-acidic, and they're very gentle on the back of the photographs. And as you're going through, make sure written on the back are the basics. Who was in this photograph, when it was taken, and where it was taken. That's all you need to do, is just put that on the back. And then as you're talking about the photograph, you can tell the kids the story behind that photograph if you know that story. Oh, look, this is your great-grandfather here. He was Grandpa Joe's daddy. explain genealogy to them that way. Kids, I remember as a kid, I loved looking through old photographs. My at one grandparents' house, they had a cabinet upstairs that had all these old photos, and I loved pulling them out and having a look at them. I had no idea who was in the photographs, but I just enjoyed looking at them. There's other times I sat with my mother-in-law, and this is where I learnt the value of having a recorder with you at all times. We spent a week going through one of her cabinets. Actually, it was just half of one of her cabinets that were full of photographs. And we split them up into one bag for each of the boys. Then there was the pile that had multiple boys in them because she had 4 boys. And then there were her husband's family, her family, and we went through each one. And on the back, we wrote who was in the photograph, when it was taken, and where it was taken. So we at least did that. But she would stop and tell stories about these photographs as we were going. And after that, I said to Brad, I said, I am going to kill myself later on. He goes, why? I said, because I didn't record a single word she said. And we spent an entire week there, and every day we would spend an hour or two going through these photographs. And it never dawned on me at the time to have something to record. And so from then on, whenever I was with her, I would have my digital recorder with her. So if she started talking family stories, pull that sucker out and press that record button. So look through the old photographs, and as you're going through the photographs, tell the stories. And if you're doing it by yourself and you know who's in the picture, just get that archival pencil and just look up archival photograph pencils on Amazon. There should be tons of them around. And just write on the back who was in the photograph, where it was taken, and when it was taken. So who, when, and where. Those are the only 3 things that you need. If you want to, you can start putting them into an album and putting the little stories next to them as well. But make sure it is an archival album that's acid-free, because the acid will damage the photographs over time. So just, it's kind of like, yeah, and it comes back to being, it's scrapbooking in a way. But it's one thing I love with the old photographs is being able to do the scrapbooking and put the photograph there and put the story behind the photograph if you know the story behind the photograph. But at least have the basics of who, when, and where. But that's it for me for today. If you want to catch up more of these ideas that they have on things that you can do to shake up your life, go check out the link, the article that is linked to this video, and have a super fantastic sparkling Shake It Up Saturday. And we will catch you guys later today. Hei konera.